Winter is arriving in parts of the country still recovering from Hurricane Helene. Amy Metz is live in Chandler, North Carolina, where residents are bracing for what could be a challenging next few months. Amy.
Thank you. Yes, here in Candler, we are at White Rock Baptist Church where they're giving away turkeys, warm clothes, all kinds of things to keep people warm as snow just blanketed the Northeast. So we had a snowstorm going all the way up past New York that was also seen in North Carolina. So Asheville had some of that snowfall. And there were even some patches as I was driving in today from where I live in Georgia. So just a couple hours away from where Helene had made a devastating impact on the community as it collided with the second low pressure here in the Appalachians. We are now dealing with a lot of roadways that are still unable to be traveled past. We have bridges to fix, and the residents here are now just trying to stay warm as a lot of the shelters are actually getting ready to close up. So some of these people still without temporary housing. There have been quite a few nonprofits stepping up. Even the Amish community came down from states away in order to help build tiny homes and get people into something warm while their houses are rebuilt. So those are the ongoing troubles that we're facing here in the cleanup month later. And it's years since the hurricanes hit Louisiana, where I want to share a story of somebody that I had come into contact with, Talisa Clark. It was a few years ago after Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana that she and her family were locked out of their FEMA trailer on their property. It was there for more than a month as they were sleeping in a home with a hole in the roof. Now, they didn't know why they couldn't get in, why the keys were never given to them. And that night it was freezing rain. I made all the calls I could on her behalf to get her into that warm house. Now, let's hear from her what it was like.
There's no assistance for the people here. The monies that I did get to get my home repaired, got a bunch of contractors in here and they contractor fraud. I didn't know no better. I didn't have my husband at my side. I paid for this work to be done and they just took my money and the work wasn't done. It's really sad here. It's almost like we're living in a third world country.
Some are saying it looks like a bomb went off right there along the waterways. Still, months later, there are some piles of debris that have not been cleaned up by FEMA. Now that FEMA clock goes around, it has made some rounds, but there are still very large communities that have not seen that assistance yet. And so that is where we are looking for the biggest help, for volunteers, for people to come up together and help these people rebuild their homes. Now, we do know that FEMA handed over $2.2 billion to the North Carolina government. We're going to be looking into that further. I have asked for comments to see where that money is being used and how. Of course, we know they had to move the river. There have been other efforts to rebuild roadways. But when it comes to these people and their housing, there seems to be a big loss. Now, back to you, Tom.
Amy, quick question to you. We've been following certainly the FEMA scandal where FEMA representatives were told to bypass the homes of Trump supporters or conservatives based on lawn signs and what have you. Are people there talking about this, and is there any evidence? We know that this had happened in Florida after Helene. Is there any evidence that that has happened there as well?
I have not had officials come out and tell me that that happened here, but I have had a lot of residents wondering, where is the government? I know myself, I've been in and out of here because I live locally. And since the storm, I have not seen the amount of National Guard or amount of FEMA workers that I would normally, like I did in Perry, Florida, like I did in Valdosta, Georgia. I have not seen them in these mountain towns,
Wow.
and they simply just aren't providing the same help.
All right, we will continue to pray and support those folks in Western North Carolina that continue to suffer after this storm. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.